Alright guys, so as you likely know, Cleetus damaged the engine in his C7 Bald Eagle machine. So we told him, hey, get it over here brother, we'll get a new engine slapped together and headed your way as quick as possible. Okay guys, so now that the sleeves have been cut out of Cleetus's block, what we're gonna go ahead and do is put the new sleeves in. Once we get the new sleeves in there and everything, it'll come back over here to machining and it'll go back in a machine just like it was in, and they're gonna go ahead and they'll do all the rest of the machine work. The stroker clearancing, like what's going on behind me right now. They'll also be doing the boring, decking. It'll come out of the machine and head over to the hone. But for right now, it's gonna sit for a while after I just got the new sleeves put in, let everything settle, and then it'll come back here to machining. So they just finished up the long block in there for Cleetus's Bald Eagle machine C7. So it's all together and everything. So we re-sleeved a new block for him because we didn't know if the old one was going to be damaged or not, and we wanted to have it ready to go when he needed it. So we already had it sleeved and everything while he was sending us the other one. It turns out his other block still is okay, so we'll use that in the future. You know, we got some ideas for it. Maybe keep you guys in the loop on that if we end up using it for a different project. But anyway, down to this. So we went ahead and went with a Cali's Magnum 4-inch stroke crank. It's got our Texas Speed billet I-beam rods. So here's one right here. This is exactly what would have gone in that engine. Yeah, you know, basically we use this for a lot of the boost builds. Very high strength, you know, rated for, you know, 1200 plus horsepower quite easily. It's got a CP Carrillo piston in it, you know, strong. We've had a lot of good luck with them. We use just about all the different brand pistons, and you know, but it's what we had in stock and ready to go for this, so we got that in there. So this block right here is actually an LS block, but the LS and LT are very similar, and it'll get the point across here. So this would be a factory GM sleeve here. This is basically the re-sleeving process. So factory GM sleeve, this right here is after we cut the sleeve out. So cut out the sleeve and some additional aluminum material, and this is with the new sleeve pressed in, but raw, no bore or hone or anything on that. And then this would be bored, honed, and finished out completely. So we went with a set of our LT billet valve covers. So you can see they got the baffling inside and everything right here. So keeps it from, you know, blowing out into the catch can, stuff like that. So we figure that'll help with, you know, we know how hard he runs these things, so he's going to need all that baffling and, you know, all the breathing he can get with these things. All right, so Cleetus thinks we're just going to port his factory heads, but we wanted to go ahead and do a little something extra special for him. So we got him set up with a new set of the PRC LTX, and these are actually LT4 heads, and he has an LT1. So luckily his intake is set up for the two different bolt patterns of the LT1 or the LT4. So his intake will bolt right onto these heads perfectly fine, and he's going to get a lot more flow with these things. So these are awesome heads. They've just come out recently. Maybe you guys have seen them on a few different cars, but now they're going to be on the Bald Eagle machine, and this thing's going to rip. All right, so here's a closer view at the LTX, LT4 heads that we put on Cleetus's engine. So these are some relatively new PRCs, you know, fully CNC work. This is cast and machined in the US, as you can see here by the American flag we added to the casting here. Pretty awesome. Of course, for the Bald Eagle machine, you would expect nothing less. We got to get those freedom flags on that engine. So this is basically the exact head setup that he has on that on his new engine. All right, for the cam setup in this, a whole new line of Bald Eagle cams was born. So we broke the Bald Eagle cam line into the LTs, and we'll have versions for, you know, the stroker, like this setup it'll be this exact cam, and then we'll have versions for, you know, factory engines as well. You can take a look over here. Here's one of our LT cams right here. So one of the main differences between the LS and LT cam is going to be the fuel lobe right here. So this triangle shaped lobe here at the bottom is what controls the high pressure fuel pump on the LT engines. So we do grind these up to 32% bigger, which is what Cleetus will have in his engine to help overdrive that fuel pump and get the fuel that these engines will need.